Hi everybody, Hellcrex here, and welcome to another episode of Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere. And today we're going to be talking about the 50-ton mech, the Talos. The Talos is a Star League era mech that's kind of sneaking its way in through the books here. You can find it in the Unification Wars book, and if you're interested in where it's at. Now, the Talos is a 460 mech. It's an early design. Basically, it could fit into the Succession Wars for technology-wise. It comes in around 900 battle value. It is has 136 points of armor, so basically about 2 tons short of maximum. And it carries around kind of similar. When you look at the Centurion, you got an AC-10 in the right arm with 2 tons of ammo. You got a 2 LRM-5s in the right torso with a ton of ammo, and then you got an SRM-6 in the left torso with a ton of ammo. And well, it's sort of a interesting little mech. It's kind of supposed to be extinct. Doesn't mean it's not tooling around someplace here and there amongst the peripheral areas and the periphery. I think it was built in the Taurian Concordiate, so yeah, it's possible some of those military organizations might have one or two as an antique hidden there, or it may be as a pirate organization found a few and picked them up, and it's like, hey, we're going to use these now to our best ability. Now, with 10 heat sinks on this thing, it's kind of an interesting thing is that, well, it creates 10 heat just with the weapons. And if you walk, you go up 1. If you run, you go up 2. So you can run 2 turns, fire everything, and still not have any problems. And the third turn is when you got to figure out, what am I not going to fire to cool off a little bit so I can go into that cycle again. And typically when you're looking at that route, you might consider, it's like, okay, is it going to be the SRM, or is it going to be the other one? So I'm not sure exactly which one it's going to be at the time. So hey, that's what you got to work with. But this mech can work as a fire support mech, direct fire. So if you ever get your hands on one, you can use this probably pretty good effect. It's going to be similar to what you're going to see typically on the battlefield in the Succession Wars. So if you're really well versed with that style tactics, like say using a Centurion or something like that, yeah, this mech will fit right into your play style, and it's not going to be bad. It's going to work fairly well. So it's a mech that can sit behind a hill, kind of harass you a little bit for a couple, 12 turns with the LRM-5s, or then it can turn around and come around the corner and hit you with that AC-10 and rack that out for 10 turns if it survives that long. And it does have a fairly decent amount of armor on board. It's not going to run down any light mechs with a 4.6 movement, but it can send out a love tap for a decent distance to keep a lot of the scouts at a distance. And if anybody gets in close, you got the SRM-6 to either do some crit hunting with it, or you have a possibility of racking off some of that armor off some unsuspecting mech someplace if you get a hit, with probably 4 or 5 missiles most likely. So overall, it's not a bad mech. It's kind of interesting. It's one of those ones that very seldom do you ever see anybody showing it off or have one or even play with one, because it's one of those mechs that is hidden away, one of those hidden gems that hey, it might be useful. Now, the only problem I can see with this mech is that you got a 1 in 3 chance of getting a ammo hit in one torso, and then you got about the same in the other torso. So that that is one of the biggest problems with most Succession War mechs. You get a crit hit, this thing is going to go down. So overall, that is pretty much the Talon, or the Talos in a nutshell. Not overly firepower eccentric, or it's not a bad mech, not a good mech. As you know, something you got to write home about and say, hey, I got to have one. It's just your typical Succession War style, early design mechs that you're going to find during that time frame. All right, so if you like it, like and subscribe, share with your friends, and we will see you in the next one. Hellcorrects out.